Hey everybody, what we got here today is the inspection Post-Formic Pro application. So in these hives 2 weeks ago, put the full treatment of Formic Pro on, and if you read the label, and you're required to follow the label, it is a pesticide. It has some temperature ranges, and I was right at the upper edge of the suitable temperature range when I installed these in here, and I swear when I checked the weather, even the minute before I got in these hives, I was right in the range that they want. And then checked the weather long range forecast again, and I swear it changed. Anyway, so this is number 2. I've started to number them instead of naming them. What number is it? This is number 2. And I know from memory this is the one that has a Dan Williams queen on it. They haven't done very much anything in this second medium that I gave them just prior to the Formic treatment. That's not that wild. There's not a lot going on out here today as far as availability of forage. So this is the spent Formic Pro patty, and oh, there's a hive beetle. You ever see a hive beetle? Here, we'll come back. There's a hive beetle, in case you're wondering. That's a small hive beetle. Just a little black booger. We smashes them when we finds them. No regard for hive beetles. So anyway, so these are spent now. All the formic acid has been released. And what I just want to do today is to check to see if I am queen right, primarily. That is a hazard with Formic Pro, is that you can have damage to your queen. I'm not a scientist. I can't tell you exactly why you would have damage to your queen, but maybe it's something to do with that overwhelming Formic. Alright, so this is just a frame that, frankly, it's pretty junky. I wouldn't expect to see the queen on there. So I brought I'm gonna quit laying my tool over top of them. They don't need that. They don't care for it, and I'll let you know it. Alright. So we'll look for the queen, look for evidence she's present. Finding her would be ideal. Finding eggs is a close second. And this one should be marked. She was marked when she went in. Whether she's still marked, TBD. That frame was pretty empty. This one's got a little heft to it. It's honey. A little bit of brood that would have been present pre-treatment. That was a 14-day treatment. Okay. There are upright and correct eggs in here, which indicates the queen is laying. So from what it looks like, is the queen took a little bit of a break, which is tells you right on the package that's a possibility that she'll hit pause when that formic's applied. But there's some larvae in there. It would be good to see her. I don't need to see her, but it would be good to see her. Getting a little bit loud. Okay, this still is #1 hive. It's just that the numbering wore off a little bit. So that's kind of what it is. All right. Well, we know anyway. Ooh, there's a big spider. Come on. And this lid, I'll show you a little bit of a better view here. This is the inner cover. And sometimes to get ventilation, there's another spider. You can take and just use some stones or some sticks and use that to prop open the top of the lid. It won't affect anything to do with weather tightness or weatherability. But it helps them get a little bit of ventilation when they need it. Like a lot of stuff, if they don't need it, they won't use it. So here, this is a 9-frame spaced out honey super. I'm trying to go to color coordination as I bring on new equipment, or new to me equipment. Anything that's bright yellow like this is designated as honey. This one, I do not have any excluder between the two. So the queen could come up there if she'd like. It's getting a little weight to it. But what I found interesting was during the entire treatment, as I would drive by here, this hive was always more active than #2. So they were bigger to start, so I'm not using as a negative against #2. They have more bees, they're going to be busier, right? But I don't know that they had more room. Look at that, packed out honey. They had more room, and they had more bees. But you know, just a very clear difference, 1-to-1 already from this hive to the other. Look at their movement on the comb and their movement in the box. Bees in #2 were frantic. Frenetic maybe is a word. I'm not a word guy. It's almost like these bees couldn't care less that I'm in here. This hive started off of a wild swarm. Anyway. Ooh, that's packed honey too, gosh. But look at, I mean, they're just chilling like villains, and it's 100% cap. That's beautiful. All right. We're looking down in here. It looks like all of that is capped. So this will be an interesting one here. I think what I'll do, in order to save time, got dinner waiting. I'm just going to pop the whole box off. Because the first couple frames were entirely capped honey, that makes me think that the whole box is capped honey. Holy cats. The weight of it, oh, that's capped. That's all done. Woof, that was heavy, y'all. Poor bee, get out of there. Get out of there if you can. They propolized it. So all this orange that you see here is propolis. Come on, bee. This is all, they didn't care too much for that stuff. Gosh. Some hives, just like kids. Some kids talk loud. Some kids chew with their mouth open. Some bees propolize more than others. It's not wrong or right. It's just different. All right, so now we're in the brood box. This is the bottom. It's a deep. Propolis aside, I don't know if I can even scrape that off of there. Oh, sure. And what we'll do is we'll take just a minute, clean this up. We'll take this and put it in our propolis collection jar that we use for reasons. I haven't done anything with it yet. Sometimes I chew on it, like chewing gum. If that's gross to you, I don't know what to tell you. Get over it. It's a bee product. You can actually go out and I mentioned Emily Mueller on a couple of my channels before. She's a local kind of bee guru, bee whisperer kind of thing. Good resource for area beekeepers for sure. But she makes a propolis paste for your teeth. It's supposed to have some healing properties for your teeth. We're going to put it on the brick. Come back. So these are dishwashing gloves. I may have gone over that in other videos about what do you need to get started beekeeping, perhaps. Maybe I'll do that very exact video, but do you need to buy beekeeping gloves? Well, I'd say no. Some beekeepers don't use gloves at all. I do. For me, it's a confidence thing. I'm much more confident with a layer of protection between me and the bees. If you're not, that's wonderful. This is, look at that. That's great, you know, good for you, but for me, this is it. This here, this is from here down is all natural comb that they built off of no foundation. So you see the foundation would end right here. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of drone comb in the bottom. Drone. For whatever reason, they chose to, I mean, of course they followed the template on the foundation, and then as soon as they broke free from the foundation, they put drone at the bottom, and you can just see the size difference without even any kind of magnification or anything. It's significant. You know, so you can't have a hive full of drones. You don't want that, but if that's what they want to do, and it was their decision, can it be wrong? I mean, I tend to default to what the bees think. You can't ask them, but they can show you. So same thing here. Looking for eggs. There's no, this queen wasn't ever marked, but she's got a very distinctive pattern to her. She's like a tiger, black and orange like a tiger. So we'll see if she made it through. I'm hoping. Gosh, I don't want to lose queen bees right now. This is, you could call it late August, and nobody could say you were wrong. Oh, see there. Be careful. There's not much support through the bottom, and this wax started to droop a little bit. That would have been a heck of a mess. So, if you have unsupported wax like that, do take care to keep your comb vertical. There's capped brood here, but that again was an egg laid prior to the treatment. There's a nice, look at the pattern of brood here. This queen, in addition to being a gentle colony, she is prolific. I mean, there ain't hardly any spots missing there for cat brood. And this side is the very same. This one is not going to droop because it's plastic foundation, so I can hold it this way. I'm moving over to deeps on the bottom. I started off, when I started off with all medium stuff, and that's a good idea if that's what works for you. But for me, I found that I want a deep on bottom. Another good brood pattern, a fantastic brood pattern. I have to show you this. Hope it comes through on video. All that brood is packed hard. And she does not miss, which is cool. I appreciate that about her. I'm just kind of rambling and thinking out loud now, but you know, for the volume of bees in this box, I smoked them very lightly to start, and I haven't smoked them since. And they're getting a little bit feistier, but feisty's too strong of a word. They're getting more active. But they're not being overly defensive. They're just being bees, doing bees things. No eggs yet that I can see, but that might be a reflection more of her brood laying pattern than anything, because she just didn't leave herself any room, and then there's honey above her. Probably what I'll do, no, not probably, what I will do is I will take that honey super and put it on the top and put that box that's drawn in the middle. Okay, here we have some eggs and young larvae. All right, so it's safe to say that we're 2 for 2 on surviving queens on the full treatment when we had less than favorable weather. First 3 days post-treatment, you know, it's got to be below a certain temp on treatment day. Read the label. You know, I live by an airport. It's got to be below a certain temperature on treatment day, and then they want you to not to exceed a certain temperature on the first 3 days post-treatment. Well, like I said, I tried. I thought it was right. It was not. But treatment day plus 14 shows we have 2 for 2 on laying queens. So I'm just going to go through the last couple, since there's only 2 here. But other than that, that was the Formic Pro treatment options of using the full treatment, the 14-day treatment in your hives. One hive had a deep and 2 mediums, and the other hive had 2 mediums. So seems like the queens came through out the other side. They both appear to have taken a short break of laying, which is expected, and then both look to have resumed their laying. So thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful, and if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've made a lot of mistakes, and so might have done something that you are getting ready to do, and I can give you my experiences with it.